Hey, folks, evening. So I think I'm gonna have Lala on here tonight, um, talking about the fair, and I think I'm gonna have. Yeah, I think she's gonna be on here talking about the fair because that's the big event for this week. Um, so let me greet everybody in here. I'm gonna do a shout out for Bomber Steve. So as I was on here, getting on here a little bit earlier, and I was reading some of the comments. So Bomber Steve has taken another trip, and I don't mean to travel a trip. Go on to Bomber Steve, check out his channel, and he's got another video on there where he's taking a fall, and Julianne got it on video, and I was impressed that she refrained from laughing as little as she did. Um, been there, done that. My falls are usually off of ladders though when I'm building something. So who all we got in here? Hey, there's Lala.
I'm here.
So Lala is the fair queen.
Scooch over. You're blocking my camera view.
So Lala's the fair queen. Who all we got in here? So Dusty Goat was in here a little bit earlier. They've got some work things that's got to be taken care of.
I'm confused.
Why?
We got a delay and
This one is YouTube. This one is StreamYard.
so you can catch me if I do something bad and take it off before
No,
anybody sees it.
no. This one doesn't slow down.
I
You know
gotcha.
how you respond to comments.
Sorry guys, just came in from the barn.
So Bomber Steve, welcome, sir. Jesus is Lord. I smell nachos. Where's the refreshments table? isn't that the truth? I don't eat a lot of fair food, but I can't resist myself once I go to the fair. So we'll be doing that this weekend. Alicia Hall, welcome. Twin Brook Acres. Hey Rick, how are you? Good to have you. Michael Harris, how are you, sir? I've been communicating with Michael a little bit. Michael seems to be back on the mend. So prayers have been effective with Michael. We had a question in here earlier about where's Paula at, and Paula is usually one of the first ones in here, and Paula is a little bit under the weather, so she is not going to be on tonight. So I will make sure to send her your blessings so that she's aware of that. Twin Brook Acres, I tend to fall upstairs. I tend to fall upstairs, downstairs, wherever I'm trying. I tend to fall when I'm walking or when I'm climbing ladders. Lala can vouch. She's got some really good stories of me falling off ladders.
Oh yeah.
I probably should tie the ladder to things so it doesn't tip over, but I'm hard-headed that way. I don't do that. So
Or wait for someone to hold it, because typically he doesn't wait and he climbs up and it's not completely stable. I, on the other hand, could just walk across the post office parking lot and fall flat on my face and sprawl right out in front of a crowd of people.
yeah, she fell this week.
Yeah.
But she's okay. She's a little
I
bit
got some
bruised.
bruises, but I'm good.
I was a little bit worried about her.
I
Simple ain't easy. Welcome. Who else we got in here? Tiny Tim Posey, welcome. Glad to have you. Simply Jan, how are you, lady? How are you? Glad to see you in here. This is Wednesday Night Live. This is all I can do to this is all I can do to try to stay
Sane.
I mean, not even sane. I mean, it is my work has just gotten absolutely crazy, out of control. And so I feel bad. Jan, I've been on some of your lives, but I haven't been able to communicate because I'm literally not where I'm just listening on my phone generally. But hope you guys are well. Hope the family is well. Kyle, welcome. Farm and HVAC, welcome. Crafty Hobbit, there's my my
Our daughter.
my littlest child. Not say child. She's like in her 30s now.
Ooh, she's not. Ooh, you're in so much trouble right now.
Why? Because I called her my littlest child.
No, because you said her age.
I said in her 30s.
You should probably stop saying that.
Oh my goodness.
Women are sensitive about stuff. I'm not. I don't care. But
All right. So we got a guest tonight. Lala's the
I'm not a
guest.
guest.
Lala's the guest, so that she can kind of talk about all the goings on at fair.
I bet you that's Rebecca sending you a message telling you that you shouldn't have said her age on. Is it her?
Hold on. Keep talking. It's Rick Edwards. Rick Edwards getting on here.
Ooh, little Rick's getting on. We haven't seen him in a while. So anyway, guys, we're coming up on Fair Week. And hence all the sweat, because I'm so busy out in the barn right now trying to get everything situated between 3 goats and a rabbit that are going to fair. So we're coming up on Fair Week. So we have to deliver animals on Friday, and then on, let's see, Saturday's the first show. It's got a show on Tuesday. And then I don't know if any of you, if any of you have done fairs before, but when you take livestock up to the fair, they have to be there the entire time. You can't take them out. So they're there until close of fair. So they get dropped off Friday between 3 and 5, and they don't get picked up until the following Saturday. So they're there the whole week. The following Saturday after 10 o'clock at night, you have to be there to pick up your animals. So it's kind of really hectic during that whole week of fair.
After 10 o'clock at night?
It was the same thing last time, but it's always been that way. And then there's goats in our fair. Goats are not considered a market animal. We don't auction them off at the end of fair, so they're brought home. The market animals are swine and beef, and those get auctioned off. So there's a lot going on. Fair Week is really hard on me because I have to go in really early in the morning. Not only do I do the farm work here in the morning, but I have to go over to the fair, feed all the animals, and then go into work. And then when I come back, I have to do farm work here with Rick's going to help me. And then we have to go out to fair because I have to be there pretty much every day of fair, because we have to monitor the animals and make sure.
Twinburg Acre, that's what I said. After 10 o'clock, that's past my bedtime.
That's his bedtime.
That's past I go to bed at 10 o'clock.
He does. But yes, we have to go out. We have
There's the boy.
Do we have to volunteer. Plus this year we're having a petting zoo, which one of my goats is going in. So we have to do that as well. Madeline's got even more stuff planned than what I can keep up with. Thank God for her mother, because Lala wouldn't be able to manage all that. Her mama's managing a lot. So
these are the ones that we are taking up to the fair. Well, 2 of the 3. Hold on. So
I don't think we got a picture of Blue.
We don't.
So
this one.
I'm sure I have a picture of Blue somewhere.
Who's that one, Lola?
That's Melody. Melody is a Nubian, and she will be going in as in the dairy category. So she's a registered American Nubian, and Madeline's going to show her in the showmanship category as well. Showmanship, they're looking at the animal, but they're mainly looking at the kid that's showing the animal. Exactly.
That one in showmanship?
In showmanship. Melody's easier to handle. Melody is. She's easier to manage. And in showmanship, the whole point of it is that you get in there and you connect with the judge and you show him what your abilities are as far as showing an animal. So he's looking at the animal, but he's more looking at the person showing the animal. So, and then She'll also be shown in the dairy class, and that one is where they're looking at the conformation of the animal and how well it behaves and that type of thing. So
That's because Melody is the sweetest girl. I call Melody the anorexic goat because she's just, in my opinion, she's the ugliest goat on the
she
farm.
is not. She's tall.
She's
Okay.
ugly.
So if you look at her coat, you'll see those little flecks. Those are called moon spots. You can't see them as well. If we got a side view of her, you'd see these big spots on her side. They're called moon spots. And her, there they are. Yeah. So on the sides there, she's got moon spots. And then her ears, that's a great shot of her. Her ears are frosted and her snout's frosted. So she, these are a little bit older pictures.
Yeah, these are
So,
last year.
yeah. So she's much larger now. She's filled out quite a bit. And she has not freshened. She's never had kids. As soon as they come back from fair, they'll be going in with some bucks.
I think I may have lied.
You don't have one, Blue?
I don't think I have one of blue,
Oh,
which
my
is very
God.
surprising. It's partially surprising because see, when we first had blue, there was so much like problems and whatnot that she was having.
Yeah.
And with her
Blue was a
being,
sick baby.
she was a very, yes, but I mean, Lala, like all the animals on the farm, tries to pay equal amounts of attention to each and every one of them, regardless of how large of a difficulty it is. And so Blue was not well off whenever she was first born. And so Lala and Papa, nor did I want to actually put her on camera because she was not a.
She was a very, very sick baby.
Yeah.
But now she's absolutely adorable. She's very, very stunted, but because of the amount Lala, hands on, because of the amount Lala paid attention to her, she isn't. I mean, she's just as bad as Eclipse, and Eclipse is awful.
Here's
Wow.
here's the other one that's going. This is Eclipse, and this one is 100% boar. She's the only.
And
She's the only
100%
boar we have.
spoiled.
She's the only 100% boar
Yeah.
we have that's not a cross, and we have her for one reason, and that's for show purposes. And this is
This is Madeline's
this
baby.
is Madeline's baby.
And when we say baby, we mean baby. She is I can go out there, if she sees me, she's going to yell. The reason why she's named Eclipse is that black spot on her back. Her mama's name is Stormy. That's her laying across my back.
Yeah,
when
that's the black spot. You guys can
so
do
the black
math on why
spot.
she's called Eclipse.
Yeah, that's why we called her Eclipse. So her name is Stormy's Eclipse is her registered name. She's 100% boar.
It's one of my favorite pictures.
Yeah, and there's Melody looking on. Her and Melody are best friends. Melody is the only Nubian we have, and Eclipse is the only boar that we have. We do have a boar Kiko cross out of Pearl that we kept. Her name is Ruby.
That's Madeline.
And
too.
she's Madeline's, and the reason why we kept Ruby was because we lost Pearl, and it was just really hard on Madeline. So, but Eclipse is Madeline's baby in that if I go out there and Eclipse sees me, she'll make noise, she'll yell for food, but Madeline can walk out on her back porch on the back one and yell, Eclipse! And all of a sudden you will just hear Eclipse start screaming. If she hears Madeline's voice or if she gets a glimpse of Madeline, she goes insane until Madeline pays attention to her. And she's very loud. You can hear her all the way up at the front of the farm. And she's very spoiled. And she's one of these goats that if you put her in with the other ones, she doesn't do well because she's so spoiled. She won't fight for her food, and she,
Yeah, she's
She
the
doesn't,
exact.
she doesn't even fight the chickens for her food.
No, she doesn't. She lets the chickens eat her food
She's the
and
exact
stands there
kind
and
of.
yells the whole time.
She's the exact kind of animal you don't want on a breeding farm.
Pretty much.
She breaks every
So-
rule that we have on the
Yeah.
farm because she's a show animal, and
because she's Madeline.
because she's Madeline.
So
But she's a good. She is funny. We took these just one day. I don't even remember this was not staged.
No, I was sitting on the tire and I bent over to pick something. That's right. I bent over to snuggle up with Anita, and Eclipse decided she's going to jump on my back. So
That's funny. So
You were
Those
talking
are good.
about
Go ahead.
how Eclipse and Melody were the two show animals, and they're the only two that we have. But you also made mention of the fact that both of those were Madeline's, and both of them are quite obnoxious. Because Madeline
Because
does
they're
and Lala
Madeline's.
does, because they treat those two goats so much differently. They are obnoxious in the way that they love humans. And Papa had said something about Eclipse and Melody being best friends, but that's not all of the ones that are like this. I think there's 4 of them, correct? You got Rosie, or not Rosie, excuse me. You got Ruby, you got Eclipse, you got Melody, and then
Anita.
you have Anita.
Those
Yes.
4.
And then for a little while, Ursula was trying to get in there too,
Yeah,
because we
Ursula.
had her on quarantine because we had just gotten her from the farm down south.
Yeah.
And so we just stuck her in with there because, frankly, we didn't have a bunch of other space. Lala
Frankly,
hadn't
we
made the
stuck-
space for her yet.
We stuck her in. Once I took her off quarantine, I stuck her in with Eclipse, Melody, Ruby, and Anita, because Ursula's sister, her whole sister, Sassa is 1 year older than Ursula. They're out of the same dam and sire, and they look alike.
Bummer
So much
Steve.
so that if they weren't different sizes, you probably wouldn't be able to tell them apart. And so Sassa, I don't know if she realized that Ursula was her sister or what, but she would just beat the crap out of Ursula. And
She
so
beats
we
the
had,
crap out of everybody.
we had to pull Ursula.
Yeah, Sassa is she's probably not a lot bigger than Eclipse, but she is
No, full
just
grown now. Yeah.
she's not that big. She's a rather small
Yeah.
goat. She is fearless. She is not afraid of anything.
Nope.
And we'll hit
The
it.
only goat that'll still go. She's the only goat that'll still go head to head with Leia.
Yep.
Yeah.
Damn near.
Leia's got her outsized by 110 pounds.
And the thing of it is they're in together during breeding. They're both under Jarl this time. And feeding time gets a little hairy.
It's kind of funny
Because
to watch.
Sassa thinks she should be the first one to get to a bowl, and
Leia's
Leia
going to
knows that she's the first one to get to the bowl and Leia's funny because she picks her spot to eat no matter what pasture you put her in. When you put grain in the bowl, she picks which one she wants, and then she stays with that bowl the entire time she's in that pasture. If you put feed down, she's going to go to that bowl to eat every time. She's not going to let anybody else near it. But Sassa always thinks, well, I'll give it a try.
That doesn't apply to me.
All right, so
We
anyway.
got some new folks in here. We got My Alabama Farm Life. So Kathleen, welcome. Who else we got in here? Nunya, Texas on the back 20. Welcome, sir.
You know what? I think I want to move to Texas
Wow.
because I like what their governor's doing out there.
We're not pulling
I
politics
like
on.
what- I
We're
like
not
what
doing
they're doing
politics
out
on
there.
the channel.
Texas should be its own country, and I want to move there.
So should Florida. I would totally be okay with it being anyway. Digress.
speaking of-
Digress.
Speaking of Texas, we got some mail this week from
Yes, we did.
Barb's Country Home. Sent us some stickers. So I wanted to say, Barb, thank you. I've been saying for literally months that we're going to have a sticker wall, and
Yep.
there's a lot of folks on here that will be on my sticker wall.
He's collecting.
I'm collecting, and they're all in one place. I just forgot
just
where
can't
that
find
place
them?
is. So, huh? I just can't
I
find them.
said they're all in one place, but he can't remember where he put them.
You know,
I think they're out in the garage.
I do not come upstairs. His office is
Yeah.
upstairs. That's where we're at right now. I don't come up here. My daughter decorated up here. She did a phenomenal job. It looks great,
Here's some of it.
but
Like this one I got last year. This was from MB Heritage. So that's going to go out on my wall.
Little Eddie's Teddy.
That's going to go out on my wall.
But anyway, Rick has his own way of organizing, and it kind of makes me a little anxious.
Yeah,
But
kind of like.
and I don't
really,
touch it. I don't clean up here. I might come up and run the vacuum cleaner.
I have no earthly idea how to say that name.
What?
Nubatar Rottenboon. Rottenaboon. Well, welcome to the channel. Thank you for watching on the live. I know satellite internet must be awful. And yes, you're right. It's at the mercy of the weather.
Where are you from?
Internet is at the mercy of the weather.
Yeah, they got satellite internet. So
Rotana Boone. Oh, I know who that is. A channel that's over in Columbia County.
oh, like City Columbia County?
Columbia County,
Okay.
because they I'm glad you guys made the live tonight. Yeah, they sent me a message on one of the fencing videos to see if we had one to where we were installing the strainers, and we got chatting back and forth. They said we're just down the road, just down I-10 from you, and they're over in Columbia County. So welcome. Glad you guys could make it.
Most definitely.
So MB Heritage,
I
welcome.
washed my hands.
You
it's still
got
smelling.
buck on your hands?
I do. It was because I went like this, and then I was like, "What is that smell?" And yeah.
So here's my
name's
Sunday.
Lala. I smell my hands.
So here's my Sunday this week. So Kimberly and I, we went up, we got the bucks on
Friday.
Friday.
We went up Friday, picked them up Saturday.
Picked them up Saturday, drove
Drove
all the way
home.
back, and
2:30 in the morning,
yeah,
we
it
were pulling
was-
into the driveway.
It was a mess. And
Almost 3:00. Yeah.
so on was it Sunday that I helped you with the bucks?
Yes.
Monday.
No, it was Sunday.
It was Monday.
Was it Monday?
Sunday?
Positive it was Monday.
Yeah, it was Monday.
So
It was Monday. Sunday, I
So,
unloaded.
so Monday I was helping her,
Yeah.
and I got a whole lot of buck all over me, and I stunk really bad. Now,
He also got pissed off.
He
yeah,
stunk so bad.
yeah, those of you that
So
don't
bad.
have goats, that
Bucks.
goats, yeah, it's bucks,
bucks.
but it's goats. General goats are just a weird, and I don't know how goats survived evolution, because they just
Well-
seems like they would not make it.
Well, the thing of it is we've humanized them so much that's why. I mean, I'm sure if they were out, if we had left them alone, they would have been fine.
You guys remember Heat Seeker? Heat Seeker
Ellie,
is
enough.
the buck that was born here last 2
I'm gonna
years
pull
ago.
up a video of some goats that survived evolution while y'all talk.
So Heat Seeker is our junior sire. We've got 3 breeding bucks. Now we've got, I think, 5 breeding bucks after this year's test. But we've got 3 breeding bucks. One of them is Heat Seeker.
He's buck happy.
Heat Seeker, well, that's where it all starts. And so I go out there and I'm petting Heat Seeker, and he's like really domesticated. He's just a very, very calm animal. So I'm rubbing on his head, and he's peed all over his head, so it kind of stinks already. So I know I'm getting that buck stink on my hand. And so then I'm standing there and I'm rubbing. All of a sudden, I feel like there's a chicken rubbing all over my ankles and everything. So I look down, and not only am I getting like his buck stink on my hand from rubbing his head, but he's also peeing on me. So he's like got his pizzle all the way out, and he's like hitting me like, I mean, it's a really damn good shot too.
He can really give it some good direction.
He's
too.
like a pea sniper.
And what's making me laugh about this is because he freaks out about it. I get peed on all the time. Heat Seeker, I don't know what it is. He'll walk up behind me and he'll just let loose. So, but yeah, you should have seen him. He run for the hose.
Hey, Michael Keener showed up. Hey, Michael, how are you, buddy?
He loves you. Yeah.
Who said that?
Michael Keener.
Well, you know what?
He loves them.
The funny thing is
What are you doing?
the funny thing is, Michael, is how accurate Heat Seeker is
Within his
with,
shoe.
with that stream. I mean, he hit me from 3 foot away, and it's like he just kept it on me, like it was like he had an automatic weapon trained on my ankle, and
It
it's
was like running down his shoe.
that stink. That kind of stink just don't come off.
No.
Period. I mean, if
These are-
you've ever tried to wash goat stink off, it does not come off.
What
Yeah,
I
he
found
immediately
out
hit up
is
the
if
hose.
you can't get it, it typically doesn't come off with just regular hand soap. I usually use the Blue Dawn dish soap to get it off. And like I've had people contact me and say my bucks stink really bad. What can I do? Basically, there's really nothing you can do. If you want to give them a bath with Dawn dish soap, but you're wasting your time because they're just going to end up peeing on themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, do we have a picture of what Jarl looks like right now? My blue buck,
the
beautiful blue buck.
Yellow faced.
Yeah.
And he is orange.
Yeah, Jarl is this beautiful silvery blue color, just absolutely beautiful goat.
Yeah.
But now he's peed all over himself
He's orange.
from head to toe, and he's literally this nasty brown color.
Yeah.
I'll
orange
pull
color.
that photo up, but look at this. So these are goats that survived evolution.
MB
So-
Heritage says it's like ammonia glue. It absolutely is like ammonia.
So is that like a
That's right.
a herd of goats up in the mountains or something?
It is kind of, yes. So this is a dam somewhere. I mean, this one's put out with BBC, but this is like salt water, like salt rock, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's seeping through the dam, and it's running down this
Okay.
vertical
So where's the goat?
ledge. And this is
Freehand made, welcome. Nisi, I'm glad you got back home safely.
Oh, look at that!
Look at them. They're literally they're climbing and scaling like the entire thing. And it's all to go ahead and get that salt on the side of the mountain.
Lala gets worried about ours walking on a pallet, that they're going to hurt themselves.
Hey, their feet can go through the little spaces and they'll break a leg.
So really, Lala's the reason why they wouldn't make it through evolution.
Yeah, so how I got on my buck story is, so I go out there, I help her, I'm handling the animals, I'm getting that stink all over me, and I come in here and I sit down on the couch, and I didn't take a shower, and she says, "Wow, you smell."
No, I said, wow, you stink.
I said, "Wow, you stink." I said, "What do you mean I stink?" She said, "You smell like buck." And I'm like, well, I was watching Yellowstone, so I watched the whole, I caught up with Yellowstone all the way up to the most current episode, smelling like nasty buck. I felt like that was an accomplishment.
Yeah, you stunk bad.
Yeah, I felt good about that.
Even the dogs stayed away from him.
No.
And the dogs are usually, right up in there, but no, they stayed away. He was smelling pretty rank.
But I'm all caught up
So-
now. All caught up.
And he's got a yellow streak going down the back of his leg. Not really.
Oh, goodness. Yes, I do, Nisi. I do know that.
What do you know?
She said, Lala Farm, Yellowstone is filmed where I live. Yes, I do.
Oh. Have you ever seen any of them?
Any
Any of the
Yellowstones?
peoples?
Yeah, have you ever seen any people? You ever seen like Kevin Costner in the local
Look at
diner?
my boy!
Yeah, there you go.
My boy is orange.
So that's Jarl. That's our senior herd sire. He's the one. That is the sire of 3 of the 4 bucks that we took up to West Virginia, and he is just a rock solid buck. But he's not. He doesn't have any brown on him. He's got no color
He's
whatsoever.
a blue buck
He
all
is,
over.
He is solid blue and silver.
You
This
can't
is
tell
key.
from that picture.
Yeah, that's him now. And you can smell the box all the way up at the house. If the wind's blowing just right.
Yeah.
They smell right. But I don't mind the smell because that means that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Petway, smell
The ones that are
smell.
orange right now are my little Nigerian, my little Nigerians. They are really bad.
James Petway says, "Spell that smell at the meetup on you, or on you at the meetup, Rick. You sure that has to go?" I'm positive it's goat.
I've been meaning to talk to you about that.
Oh, he's got the ZZ Top beard. You know, he's a really great goat, but he's literally got no color on him. All that color that you see in that picture is all pee.
Yeah, he just.
Yeah, he's a mess. He's a mess. And the other one is this really pretty pristine white and brown, but he only had one of the bucks up there. So, you know, he's either got to produce this year or he is moving elsewhere. And
He produced.
what?
He produced some good girls.
Einar?
Yeah,
Mm,
Einar.
mm,
He did.
mm.
He did.
That right there is the difference between statistics and, yeah, I really like that goat though.
Oh, Rick Edward, another
Kimberly
goat.
and say what?
I got another goat.
What? Papa's looking at you like he doesn't even know what you're talking about.
He knows
No,
what I'm
I
talking
do
about.
know what she's talking about.
Is it a Billy?
No.
It's another doe. Where from? Where?
Dwarf.
Oh, it's another dwarf.
Yeah,
Registered or unregistered?
unregistered.
So she's building her Nigerian dwarf herd.
Is it
too.
here?
It will be here Friday.
Oh wow! So she's coming fair day. So we're receiving and we're exporting on Friday. Awesome.
Yeah. So
Thank you, Simply Jan.
hit the thumbs up, please.
So I have an idea, Dad. And
Michael
maybe the
Keener-
people, maybe
Hold on. Michael Keener says, so you got half a goat?
Yeah, funny guy. Till you come over after all my babies are born and you see those little critters, you know your wife's gonna want to take one home with her.
so I have an idea.
Do not let them talk, Michael, if you know what's good for you.
The
Bobby
idea
Harris,
is
Bobby Harris is still wanting you.
the idea is Friday to not do a video and instead do a live. But I don't know what time. What time are we taking the goats?
The problem is I'm not making excuses really. I'm being completely honest here. Fair week is very crazy for me.
Mhm.
And so doing a live would be a little.
What
Might be a little
time
rough.
are we
I don't
delivering
know that I
goats?
could control my language that long.
What time are we delivering the goats?
They have to be there between 3 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
So tomorrow we're going to be shaving the show goats, getting them ready to go in, and then
Why don't you explain what that means? Because
shaving them.
I bet you there's all kinds of weird pictures in people's heads right now.
Okay.
And then after you get done with that, we got to answer Simply Jan's question.
No, go ahead and answer your question.
All right. Do you have to quarantine the new goats?
I do quarantine new goats.
Why?
I do. I quarantine them because that way, all right, for example, even bringing goats back from the buck test, I quarantine them. And the reason being is because traveling that far of a distance, they get a lot of wind blowing into the trailer. That can cause respiratory issues. And I like to keep on top of that and make sure it doesn't get, out of control. The other reason is because if I'm bringing a goat either back to my farm from like the test, or if I'm bringing a new goat onto the property, they've been exposed to things outside of my herd that I may not want, or that I don't want to come into my herd. So if you've got one that has some type of illness, such as pink eye is horrible. If it gets into your herd, it will go through the entire herd. Sore mouth, that's also horrible. If it gets into one, it's going to go through them all. So if you're bringing goats from outside of your property, it's best to quarantine them. I say for a minimum of 2 weeks. And I prefer to do it for a month if I can.
I mean, the problem becomes, particularly right now, the timing of bringing these bucks back from West Virginia probably couldn't have been worse, because we have our mating pairs everywhere.
Yeah.
So right now we can't just bring them home and put them into a paddock and isolate them,
Right.
because there's already goats in each of our paddocks. So
Yeah.
once
Not
we
only
get
that,
this,
but we have paddocks that we have or sections that Lala has created
right,
Yeah.
with the hog panels, because even with our size barn and the amount of cool little tricks that you can do with it,
Yeah.
we still didn't have enough.
Well, part of it is, so we have three breeding sets going on right now. So those are broke up. And then I've got Nigerian bucks that aren't in for breeding, so they have to be isolated away from does because they'll go insane. Then I've got Kiko does that I've held out that are not breeding for different reasons. So they're in a section by themselves. Then I have my Nigerian does that are in a section by themselves because they're not breeding right now. Then I have the 4-H goats that have to be, they're contained in a smaller area.
Gain the weight.
I know this is going to sound terrible, but I'm trying to fatten them up because you want the body structure and body conditioning to score higher. So
yeah, there's a lot of different things that you're doing with the 4-H. With the 4-H, we got Lala has put elevated feed troughs in the 4-H pen, and the reason behind that is not to make it more, not necessarily to make it more difficult for them to feed, but when you elevate the feed trough and you feed them, it forces them to really stress their hind legs and build muscle. But it's not as active as right now you're doing more like a bodybuilding routine. You're not looking for you're not looking for a goat to be like, tall and look like a supermodel. You want them looking like me.
Well,
yeah, plump.
But yeah, if I were to, have her out on
Thank
pasture,
you, Michael Keener.
If we have her out on pasture, then that we're specifically talking about the boar. Okay. If she's out on pasture and she's getting a lot of exercise, walking around and stuff like that, any thickening that we're doing by lifting up her bull goes
away.
Getting, counteracted because she's out there walking constantly, which shapes their body differently. So some
which is
people
not something
do
you
it
want
that
for
show, and some people don't do it that show. But we do it. It's been successful for us as far as
I
body
think
conditioning and stuff.
there's certain goats that you want to have like more of a lean body or like a lean figure, like Melody, for example. You don't want a really big, meaty Nigerian.
Yeah,
or
you don't want
Nubian. You want more of a sleek. Exactly. Yeah. Where with a boar or a Kiko, which we don't show Kikos, but we do have like Lala said, the boar. They want an animal that looks like it would produce a lot of meat.
Right.
If you were to send it to freezer camp.
The reason why we don't show our Kikos is because where we are in Northeast Florida, the judges up here, they have no idea how to categorize or judge a Kiko because they're so used to seeing boars. Boar is shown everywhere, and especially down here, that is the meat goat of choice. And so,
goat lifting. Next Lala
you typically, when you go to any type of show, you're going to see Nubians for the dairy breed and some Nigerian dwarfs, and you're going to see boar goats.
Nigerian dwarfs are there to like slow people down while they're going through the livestock barn. That's their main thing. I said the Nigerian dwarfs because they're so adorable. That's Nigerian dwarfs are more or less nothing more than like the pawns in a chess game. It slows everybody down so they can get to.
They're little cuties.
Yeah,
they're adorable.
When Rick did when they introduced the Nigerian dwarfs it's probably 3-4 videos or so ago, and his thumbnail was goats versus trolls. And to be honest with you, I never ever thought about those Nigerian dwarfs as troll looking, but holy mackerel, do they look like trolls. So now that's all I can do is look at the Nigerian dwarfs and think of trolls.
Yeah. The boys do anyway. The girls are so cute. So.
So
Mike-
all right. So we're gonna get to your question, Mike. Mom, what do you mean when you're talking about shaving?
Oh, so when you show goats, you'll shave them, shave their fur. Like dairy goats, they're shaved really close to the body. They're clipped really close to the body. You shave their beard off. When you show dairy, they can't have horns. When you show dairy, they don't allow those in there. But so you shave everything, clip close to the body, and you leave a little poof on the tail. It's just something they do. It gives the goat a cleaner look, and the judge can see the contour of the body real well. Same thing with the meat goats. You're just shaving the fuzziness off, basically.
Yeah, you're letting them see the body structure instead of
Exactly.
the way the.
And it cleans them up. They look good. There's a lot of different things you can do. You can use a shiner on them that'll make their coat shine if a little bit more when the light hits it and stuff like that. I don't use shine. Madeline doesn't use shine. She uses a purple shampoo, which brings out more of the whitening. The only other really critical thing that we've used is a stain remover for their fur, and that's if they get like pee stains or anything on them like that, it'll
Yeah, there's like if you were to, I mean, now I know we're not showing and if you go into the Nigerian dwarf section of the barn, a lot of them do have short hair. But like for instance, Penny,
they all have short hair, but some of it's thicker.
But what I'm saying is, you got like Penny, where Penny does have. It's not say for instance, it's not like Cloud's butt, where Cloud has, or Leia, excuse me. It's not where Leia has like really really long hair that then like goes down by the backs of her legs. We don't have any Nigerian dwarfs like that, but what we do have is
we do.
Penny.
We got Cookie's like that.
Cookie, yeah.
So
all right. So Cookie, for example, where Cookie has longer hairs towards her rear end, when you shave all of that off, like Lala was saying, it just kind of shows off. It shows off their body structure instead of you looking at their hair. And they do it. They do it all the time with pigs. I've never all my years in FFA and going to the Baker County Fair, I've never seen them not shave a pig. They always shave the pig, and they always shine the pig.
Yep.
And the majority of the time they do it with their steers as well, because steers and hogs, they don't really live long enough to really grow out their hair, but they still shave it down just so you could see the more or less the makeup of the body.
Yeah. Michael Keener had a question about rotating goats.
Yes. Do we rotate goats?
So, yes and no. And what I mean by that is, so yes, I do want to rotate, and yes, I do as I can, but all my paddocks are not done yet. That's our winter project this year. Right now we have, the bucks are on 2 acres on each side. So the bucks are on 4 acres. And what I do is 2 acres on each side. So 4 acres total with a barn in the middle. So there's one paddock with 2 acres, one paddock with 2 acres. So my Kikos, I'll keep on one side. My Kiko bucks will be on one side. And my Nigerian bucks are on the other side. My Nigerians don't touch. They don't even come close to doing a dent into the pasture over there.
Yeah,
they
you
just
can
don't
see the
eat that
pasture
much.
growing up around them.
They're the third of a size of a Kiko if they're lucky. So, as a matter of fact, my Nigerians are about the size of Kiko babies that are a few months old. So,
That is accurate.
they don't make a dent in that pasture. So what I'll do is I'll leave the Nigerians on one side and the Kikos on the other. And then as the Kikos eat this down, then I'll switch them over. It's not ideal because you're supposed to be allowing the pasture to rest so that the parasites die off and stuff like that. But that's where I'm at right now. And it's working out fine. I'm not having any issues with parasites in the
The biggest
area
thing that
at
we've
all.
had an issue with this year is the sheer amount, and we've said this in our past lives, and I think Lala has actually made mention of it, like in some of our videos, is the Southeast has had, it's not quite over yet, but our every afternoon shower, that's done for the year. But we've just had an astronomical amount of rain. What?
So,
Every afternoon shower? Good question. Do you rotate your good? What?
I was trying to answer Michael Keener's question.
Do we rotate?
Sweet Pea Farm, New York, welcome.
So anyway, with regards to the does, Michael, the dwarfs, you've seen my barn set up and my pasture set up. And I've got those two small pastures on either side. The dwarf does, they go from they'll be on one side and let the other side rest, and then I switch them over. Right now I've got bucks, or I've got a breeding group in the other pasture. So again, not the most ideal, but the reason being is because I don't have the smaller paddocks in the big pasture, which is 6 acres. 7 acres is my big doe pasture. Once I get that all sectioned off,
which will happen this winter.
Which happens this winter. Big Rick and Little Rick have already got it all laid out. We've actually started putting posts in to put cross fencing on. Once I do that, next year will be a lot different than what this year is, because that will allow for us to shut off different paddocks. They'll go into one paddock, and we're going to have 9 paddocks in there. So if I move them every 21 days, it's allowing those other 8 to rest during that whole time that I'm moving everybody. So it'll make a big difference in the production of feed source for them, because we're going to be seeding as well.
Hey, Brenda Baker.
Hope that answered your
Hey,
question.
Brenda Baker, welcome.
So,
Yeah, I was just saying that the biggest thing that we've had an issue with this year is not parasites. It's the sheer amount of rain that we've gotten.
the mud.
Yeah. So
It was so
but
muddy.
we're working on
Build a bridge.
we're working on things for that too. Lala has one thing that Lala does do that some goat folks out there do not is we aim for, the goal is every 30 days to trim hoofs. Most of the time,
Not on the Kikos, just on the dwarfs.
Well, once a quarter.
Yeah. We check them every 30 days. We don't trim them every 30 days.
yeah, but if they need done, we do it every 30. Like there's certain ones that grow faster than others, is what I'm saying.
Like the boar and the dwarfs and the Nubian. Yeah.
Well, one of the recommendations is there's a source that you can get pretty cheap rock that's graded down pretty fine, or you can get it in bigger chunks and you can bring it in by the trailer load. And my suggestion was we put that out because that'll also help with naturally kind of trimming down the hooves, but we just haven't gotten that far just because one, the ground has to dry up enough to where we can actually load the rock into the tractor and then bring it over. So
Petway is asking if with the new paddock design that they'll be able to come into the barn every day and eat. Yes, actually they will, because what we did is we took the layout of the barn.
go ahead, Mom. Sorry.
Oh, I thought you said hang on.
No, I said, hey, John.
Oh, sorry.
I
Anyway,
was talking to the northerner.
We took the layout of the barn and we made it to where there's an area that goes all the way around the barn and has a gate coming in to that area. So all of the paddocks, they'll actually go down
Just a common area.
a common area and they'll all have gates that open and close, or that will open when we want them to go in there, and all the other gates will be closed. And all of that feeds directly back to the main barn where the water source is, and where they'll be let in to feed every day, just like we normally do. So the only difference is that they'll have to walk out a little bit further to get to the forage.
And we'll have much more efficient use of browse.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're looking forward to that. That'll get done this winter. We started the framework for it 2 months ago and then realized we're not doing this in the summertime. This is just way, way too brutal. So we got, I don't know, probably 10 posts in. And so now we just got to set the post down the entire length of the down the entire length of the paddock and
I have a question.
string the fence.
What's your question?
From anybody that, I mean, this is an open discussion. So anybody that has goats and that does have paddocks kind of drawn out in their main pasture. One thing that what we've done, and we kind of made this, it wasn't a mistake, it was a trial and error, and realized that maybe it was a little bit overdone for the wrong goats. We overbuilt the buck pasture because we assumed that the bucks were going to be the one, they're the bigger, the stronger animal. We figured they were going to be the ones that were getting into the doe pasture. We were dead wrong. It was the very opposite of that. And we have a bent gate that literally is like, it's bent like this inward towards the buck pasture. But one thing that Papa had suggested was, and it's kind of, one, it's to save a little bit of money, but a lot of the time the most part, it's to save a lot of time. Instead of running the wooden posts and concreting them into the ground, because it's not necessarily dividing goats, it's just keeping goats out of a specific paddock while it grows up. He was talking about running T-posts down running a wooden post, and then going all the way down to the end of that running another wooden post, and then everything in between that is T-posts. Where before, what was it, Dad? How many feet?
Every 40 foot.
Yeah, every 40 foot we were putting a wooden post. That way it would take the blunt of whatever the goats were ready to throw at it. But Papa had suggested, instead of doing any wooden posts, we just do the wooden post at the end and at the beginning, and then running T-posts throughout the whole thing. And
yeah, when we first built the fence design, the everyone that we had talked to said, you got to build them to keep them in, and they talked about how destructive their bucks are, and so we built our buck pen to outlast Armageddon, and we have never had.
Don't say that.
All right, we've never had an escape by a buck into the doe pen. It's always the doe who have broken through the fence to get to the bucks.
And we've gotten rid of that issue because the bucks have a totally different, they have their own barn, they have their own pastures. So we've gotten rid of that dilemma. And you see these, if you're, a true goat person, you see these memes of like, I think Lala posted or somebody else posted it, but it was how you keep cows in, and it was literally just literally barbed wire on thin wooden posts, and then how you keep horses in, and then how you keep pigs in, and then how you keep goats in, and it was a prison. And so, but like from everything that we've done from start to finish, like, there's been a lot of research that goes into it, but at the same time, a lot of it is trial and error. And so our barn I've never seen a barn like it. And before Papa did the fence, pulling the fence, or what is it, unwinding the fence, how we did, we'd never seen another one like that either. And a lot of it's, like I said, trial and error. And what we've noticed is if they have enough food where they're confined, they don't really make a run for it. But I have people that I work with, they have Nigerian dwarfs, and she's telling me all the time. She's like, "Yeah, I'll get home and my Nigerian dwarf, they're short, somehow has gotten out of their fence,
Yeah.
and is just in their front yard grazing."
Dwarfs usually work their way under the fence.
Yeah, but she'll sit there and she'll tell
or
me
through.
she'll sit there and tell me, she's like, "Well, I don't have any holes in my yard. I don't have any dips up underneath the fence." She has no idea how they get out.
Michael,
Those
and,
women is crazy.
Michael and Bobby says it's the goats that are the hard-headed ladies. You know, I thought it would be the bucks, but it wasn't. It's every single breach that we've ever had of our fence has been the does. So the hard-headed ladies is absolutely right.
Yep.
You know, and you know their physical body size is no indication of their strength.
Michael Keener said he has barn envy.
Michael Keener, thank you, sir. I'm pretty proud of my barn. Now this winter I've got to do all the fencing, all the cross fencing, and I've got to put electric in it so that she can get a ceiling fan in there. That's my goal for this winter.
We got a couple things we got to get electric too.
And then I got to get fence up front for the cow, and I got to finish our pig pen.
Oh, we're getting piggy.
Yeah, so.
We are
Yeah,
getting piggy.
we got
As a matter of
electric.
fact,
We got electric to run to a few things.
Yeah.
So
I was
know
talking to the pig breeder today. So he's one of my 4-H guys, and he I'll tell you what, that kid knows his stuff. He delivered 13 babies by himself. He's 15 years old, 14 years old.
2 years older.
He's 14 years old, and he delivered. I think he's 15 for some reason. Anyway,
he's either 14 or 15.
Yeah, he's either 14 or 15. He delivered 13 babies by himself. One of them was stuck, and it happened to be the first one coming out. And so he went in and got that baby, and it happened to be the biggest baby on top of that. But the kid knows his stuff, I'll tell you what. He knows pigs. Anytime I ever have a pig question.
Not that we have a bunch of them.
I always ask him, what's a kill again?
Michael Keener, if you are allowed to, I would retract that last comment, sir, before anyone else sees it.
If you need extra hands, let me know.
Too late. Too late.
Too late, buddy.
Yeah. You don't want to ask that.
Man, I will never turn down help, Michael. So you let us know if you're available, and you can come over and get first-hand knowledge of building a pig barn.
First-hand knowledge of building a lot of stuff.
It's about time for us to wrap up. This has been fun. I'm glad Rick came on.
I'm not scared of work. We know you're not, Michael. We know you're not.
Glad little Rick and Kimberly came on. This was fun. So they've got a long week coming up.
It's gonna be crazy. It's
so
gonna be
I'm
crazy
tired.
busy.
If you don't see videos, there's a reason. It's like there's nobody here to do anything. So,
Yeah.
You guys should have a lot of content though after the fair. But this next week is going to be pretty hard.
It's gonna be busy. It's
I
gonna
will
be
try. I will try my damnedest to get some stuff done. On Friday, we're delivering goats. Like I said, the importing and exporting. Apparently, we're importing goats too. But we're importing and exporting goats on Friday. We have Saturday. You said showmanship, right?
Saturday is showmanship. Tuesday is goat show.
Yeah.
I gotta look up the schedule for the rabbit show.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of content coming out. There's a lot of content coming out, and hopefully we can go ahead and get it. Hopefully we can go ahead and get it out to y'all next week. But like Papa said, if not, then you know what we're doing.
And we designed a new. Well, I shouldn't say we. I helped pick out the picture, but Rick Edward, he designed a new banner. So that'll be. We'll be showing that too. So we're pretty excited about that. And then, so there it is. Isn't that cute?
See, that one right in the foreground, that's Heat Seeker's sister. That's Anita. And then the one in the back with the ring around her belly, that's Anita's mama and Heat Seeker's mama.
Yeah, that's
And
fancy.
then that little red one right in the back, right behind the first one, that is our other boar. That's, what's her name?
No, that's Fricka.
Fricka.
Is it?
Yeah, that's Fricka.
Yeah.
That's not Ruby.
Yeah,
That's
there's
Fricka.
Ruby is much smaller than Fricka is.
Yeah. So, but that's a new banner. So, I like it.
All righty,
That'll be,
folks.
that'll be behind our goats at the fair. So
Okay. We done?
This has been fun. I appreciate everybody stopping by, and look forward to some farm content or fair content, I should say, in the next week or so.
We love you too, Bomber Steve.
And this has been a blast. So, folks, always be well and treat others as you would like to be treated. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.
night, guys.